All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being on the first leadership call. Special kudos to Betsy. Betsy was in Akron with me last night for our regional training. But I'm excited to have you all here. Thank you for making the commitment to yourself and to your business and to our artisans by choosing to grow yourself as a leader and as a sponsor. So basically this is going to function like a class. I'm going to come on and I'm going to do a lot of teaching. Like you saw the itinerary, different topics each week. And so, and I'm going to mute all of us so that it functions better if that's, there's going to be a point when I'm going to ask you all to unmute yourself. Okay, so our team Share the Love Leadership Experience is going to go 9 weeks, and these recordings will all be saved for you to be able to rewatch, or for those of you who couldn't come on this morning at 9:30. And I am going to be going fast. I'm going to be covering a lot of information in these 30 minutes, and I'm really excited. I'm excited about what I myself am learning and reading about with regards to leadership in direct sales. And I'm excited to be able to share these things with you and see how you process it and how it impacts your business and your teams. The whole goal of this group, if you haven't picked this up before, is that it's really about growing a team. It's going to be focused on sponsoring and your own personal leadership development. This is going to be about making money, earning an income through your business. It's going to be about how you help others rise up as leaders, because when we grow as leaders, that's when we have the biggest impact on our business and on artisans. And this really is going to hopefully be something that makes you feel stretched. That's usually what leadership development experiences do, right? So, and what we're not going to do in this group is we're not going to talk about the basics of being a CE. We're not going to talk about selling. We're not going to talk about booking parties. This is going to be laser focused on sponsorship and your own leadership development, so that you can then go give these things away to your team. I hope that you can get off this call and feel like you could give somebody, connect with one of your leaders and share what you've learned. Now, if there's any point that this feels like too much, you feel overwhelmed, and you're like, oh my gosh, I should be booking parties and growing a solid foundation to my business, that's fine. You don't have to feel bad about that. The goal of this is to not bring anybody down, but rather to bring everybody up. And so you may find as you get into this a few weeks, this isn't quite where you're at in your own development as a CE. So no shame, no feeling bad about that if this doesn't work for you. But for those, I'm hoping that you will be here and find that this will be something that is beneficial for you and for your business. So to start things off, I've got a little activity for all of us to do. So if you can unmute yourself, we are going to do a little pledge. And if you are not on the call right now, when it's live, you can post in the link below yourself, a little picture of yourself, because we're going to do this little hand thing. We're not going to do a hand over heart. We're going to do little hearts with our hands, because we're share the love, right? And we're going to make a pledge. And this is really a promise that you're making to yourself, and a promise to embrace these ideas, because the hope is this is going to help you grow a long-term joy, a long-term sense of pleasure of what you're doing. So here is our pledge. So repeat after me. I pledge to fall in love with the process and let go of the outcome.
I pledge to fall in love with the process and let go of the outcome.
I promise to find joy in all the activities of my business.
I pledge to find joy in all of the activities of my business.
I know my words have power, and influence, so I will pay attention to the way I talk about myself and others.
I know my
My
words
words have
have
power and influence.
power and
So I
influence.
will pay attention to the words that I say and about myself and my business.
And
Yep.
others.
Others.
I know I'm a world changer and a storyteller.
I know I'm a world
I'm a
changer
world changer and
and a
storyteller.
storyteller.
Believing in myself must happen before I can believe in others.
Believing in
And
myself
myself must happen before I believe.
in others.
I will allow myself to dream big because my success is her success.
I will allow myself to
To
dream
dream
big
big because my success is her success.
I will run my own race and not compare.
I will run my own race.
Race, not compare.
My story is mine and no one else's.
My
My story is mine and no one
no one
else's.
else's.
I promise to treat myself with grace
I promise to treat myself with grace
and to find gratitude wherever possible and think
and
abundantly.
whoops.
and to find gratitude wherever possible
and to think abundantly.
And to think abundantly.
All right, there you go. Smack. You stamped it. All right. So, like I said, if you're watching this recording, I hope that you will say this place. Thank you. I got too crazy with the muting. So I am going to post this to this group page. I hope that you'll post this somewhere and use that as a reminder for yourself. But if you couldn't be on the morning call here, please put a little picture of yourself, kind of your stamp that, yes, I'm pledging to this too, everybody. So just thought that was a neat place to start. So, and this really, I hope, like I said before, that this is going to be an outpouring of joy for you through this experience, that you'll see that you'll find you do your business better and with more pleasure and with more joy because you've taken a part of this. So on the director's team, we've been reading some different books about leadership and direct sales, and we've been reading some stuff by Joshua Medcalf, but the most recent book we're doing is called Being a Direct Superstar, or Direct Selling Superstar. And so I am finding this book to be really helpful, and I'm going to be using today, a lot of what I'm going to do is going to come out right out of one of the chapters. And where we're going to start is we're going to start with talking about goals, because sometimes goals is a dirty word and a word that scares people, but really the idea behind a goal it's not to make us feel bad about what we didn't get done. A goal is a motivation tool. It's that thing way out on the horizon that we want to strive for. And we talk about this in Trades of Hope, thanks to Marianne, one of our former trainers. She used to talk about how your goal is set in concrete, but the timeline is set in sand. And there's some truth in that. You can strive for a goal. It might not always come to fruition when you wanted it to, but there is also an importance to having that timeline and not getting so squishy and gray about it that it's not something that actually challenges you or pushes you. And then sometimes people are creating goals that are somewhat deflating. Goals, sometimes people feel like it stifles them or kind of chokes them. And some of that's because we have too many goals. And so what we are going to talk about today is about how to develop one goal that is 12 months long, and one goal that is laser focused. So think about when you were a kid in science, you might have been outside in your schoolyard with a piece of paper and a magnifying glass, and you were trying to catch that piece of paper on fire. If you would have shifted that magnifying glass just a hair to the left or to the right, that paper would have never eventually browned and caught on fire. So this is what we're doing, is we're focusing in on, while there's a million things that you can do great in your business and a million goals that you could pursue in your life, what we're going to look for through our work today is one laser-focused goal. better goals by focusing on one personal goal. And we're going to talk about strategy versus goal, because sometimes people's goals, and I've done this in Trades of Hope and I've heard other people say this too, their goal is to become a manager or to become a director. And what I've learned from reading this book is that's actually not really a goal. It's a strategy to get me to a goal, to be able to achieve things that I want for my life or for my family, or things that bring me pleasure, bring me joy. So we're going to work on helping you develop a goal. And to be an aspiring leader for your teams and your hostesses and your customers, you really have to be inspired yourself, right? And so as leaders, that's one of the reasons why we use goals, is that they keep us moving forward. And I've seen that in my own business with Trades of Hope. I have wanted to, there's certain things I wanted to achieve in my own life through my business. And the only way I could do that is by working towards these particular goals. And those are the things that have given me a lot of energy. So, and I am going to share with you my personal goal. You don't have to articulate your goal because goals are highly personal, but there is going to be an activity in a way that you could symbolize it. But I hope that you'll take the risk and just put it out there, because the goal for one of the goals of this group is that this is a safe place, as I wrote in one of my previous posts, that this is a non-judgment zone. This is all about grace, and this is about empowering one another to be who we're supposed to be. So, and then the other thing about goals is if you know your goal and you're clear about it, then you'll know how to help your team achieve their goals and be clear, and because you're able to teach this idea of being laser focused. So there are 7 steps that we're going to talk about today and how to create a goal. So, flip my notes here. Okay, here we go. So these steps are going to help you find a goal that's worth your time and worth your energy and gives you the passion to achieve it. So step 1, you need to figure out a goal that makes your heart leap. This isn't something that's a nice idea, but this is something that stirs within you this kind of zing, this kind of sense of passion. As Erin Woods and some of us were talking about these leadership groups, and she said, yeah, when I was thinking about my goal, it started making me sweat. I love the idea of thinking of, she's always so put together to imagine her starting to break into the sweat because she got so motivated and excited about her goal. But it needs to be something that's thrilling and exciting. And sometimes, like I said before, we're writing things like helping our teams grow or do our teams do things better. And again, those are strategies. This is something, my goal is about me and my family, and something that really makes my heart beat. So choose a goal that makes your heart leap, something that it lights your fire. So you may have to dig in a little deeper to figure what that thing is. Figure out what that thing is. So step 2 is a way to help you figure that out. The goals sometimes don't automatically come well formed right to our minds. So here are some questions to think about that might help stir up what that thing is that would make your heart leap. What difference would $1,000 in income make to my life or my family's life? Maybe it's going to allow you to not have to work outside of your home. Maybe it's going to help you pay off debt so you all can have some kind of experience. Maybe that's a question that helps you laser in. If I could transform one room in my house, which room would it be? Our space where we live matters and gives people energy and gives us the opportunities to extend hospitality and care for our families. Maybe that's it for you. Another question is, if I could make one family dream come true, what would it be? Maybe it's taking your kids to Disney. No shame in that. Mickey Mouse, he's like the jam for little kids, right? I loved it at 14. Maybe it's renting an RV and traveling across country to all the national state parks, or whatever the thing is. What is it? Maybe your family would really benefit from having a great outdoor deck kitchen where you all can be outside because you live somewhere where you enjoy the outdoors a lot and have the time in the year to do that. How would my life, a fourth question, how different would our life be if we had no credit card debt or no school loans? What kinds of things could we do with our money and our time if we weren't so burdened by those things? Maybe the question that you need to tap into is, if I could make one personal wish come true, what would that wish be? Because again, what the best goals are goals that are highly personal and that they drive us, they push us. And we don't have to feel bad if the goal is all about you, just you. That's not a bad thing. Now, again, as I talked before, the third step for this goal making is that we don't want to confuse our goals with strategies. Promoting to a higher level in the compensation plan, becoming a manager or director, that's a strategy that helps us achieve our goals. So what is a better way to think about it is, with more income, what can I do to be able to live the life that is going to bring the kind of freedom and joy that my family needs? And so maybe, again, it's that family trip, or maybe you all can take a mission trip together. Maybe it's giving your child the gift of debt-free college. Maybe it is, again, renting your home, or bolstering your retirement fund. I remember talking with Denny, who is Nancy's husband, and he talked about heading into your retirement with security, so you have the freedom to continue to build the kingdom of God in your retirement. And it's not like we just lay back and sleep in the recliner all day, but we can still affect change. And that has stuck with me, those words, 15 years later. So what we need is, when everyone in your organization has a goal that they're passionate about, then your business is going to fire on all cylinders. You're going to be more driven, and your team is going to be more driven too. So step 4 is that this is one goal for 1 year, one step at a time. So no matter how many goals you can think of, you need to really focus in on one, because your goal becomes a compass. It helps direct you on this path that you're going to go on this year. And so if you're going on 2 different destinations, that's going to give you the split vision, right? And it's going to be, you're going to feel scattered. You're probably going to feel overwhelmed. You're not going to actually see the success. And if you're trying to always figure out which goal do I need to give my attention to, then again, you're not getting the most bang out of your effort or your energy. So here, for step 4, here's the goal test. These are some questions that you're going to want to ask as you're working through this list of goals and trying to narrow it down. So you're going to want to test it with the thrill test. That's the first one. Which one of these goals on here makes your heart beat? Which one gives you the most satisfaction when you imagine achieving it? Which one makes you, like, I don't know, sit up a little straighter? Maybe get a little scared? Maybe feel a little, I remember Kelly Doan looked like a puppy with the tail wiggling at Empower as we were talking about her goals. She just was like shaking her bum in her seat. And I was like, she's really motivated by that. So that was that thrill coming out in her. It was really encouraging. So that's the thrill test. The second test is the logic test. Which goal makes more sense? If your goal is to reduce debt, but you're tempted to do something bigger, maybe it's splurging on a new wardrobe, or maybe it's reducing your, reducing debt doesn't feel as exciting. What you need to do is you need to ask, remind yourself, is if your heart's not in the goal, then it's going to be the wrong goal. So you may find that you can still pay off some of that debt, but if you're striving for this goal that really gives you that zing, then you are going to be able, it's going to keep you motivated. Then you probably will be able to see more of an overflow and see more things be achieved too. The third test is the urgency test. And so this is, maybe there's a big financial burden that is coming in on you all. Maybe it's that you need to move and you don't have a down payment. Maybe, and you need to move because your kids are going to school soon and you want them to be in a different district. Or maybe your landlord's selling your house. Or maybe you have a large amount of debt that by getting that debt paid off, you'd be able to send your kids to private school. I don't know what that timeline is, but sometimes the urgency test helps us be able to focus in, and it keeps us motivated. Maybe it's a family opportunity. Your whole extended family is going to go to the Outer Banks next August, and you want to be there too with your family. Maybe it's a CE vision trip. Maybe that matters to you. You want to be in Haiti in 2018, sitting alongside of Madrilla and Ecclesiastes and hearing how Trades of Hope in fair trade and sustainability is affecting them. Maybe you need that. You need to be there with them. Well, that could be part of that urgency test. So step 5 is be true to yourself. And this is hard for us sometimes as women. It's sad, but true. We spend a lot of time worrying about everybody else and everything else that we need to do. And we don't spend enough time filling up our own cup and doing the things that give us energy and passion so that we can really have them work out of an overflow, right? Often we work out of a deficiency. And it's societal. We've kind of been trained that way. But we can break that habit even through this piece of our business and grow in our goals. So be true to yourself, because goals are, as I said before, they're deeply personal, and we don't ever want to be doing what we're doing for somebody else. You want to be doing this because this is, I believe as a person of faith, this is part of your calling. This is what you've been made for, is to be a compassionate entrepreneur. So be true to yourself. Don't allow your fear or the judgment of others hold you back. And don't create a goal that is fueled by shoulds. This should be my goal. The family vacation. It should be. Maybe that is the thing. My friend Dawn Hansen, who's one of the directors, that was one of her goals for becoming director, is to use her bonus, her director's bonus, to be able to take her, and she did. She took her family last January after Inspire, and it was huge for her family. She's like, we could have never done something like that. So that was a real blessing, and something her family always, so that was personal to her, because she wanted that experience with her kids, not for her kids, but with her kids, and that's why it was personal. So make it personal, make it about you. So in our book, there's an example of the author had gone to this training with a direct selling company. And it was kind of a flat, like she could just feel the flatness amongst the groups. Nobody was really jazzed. That definitely was not a Trades of Hope event. So just on her description, because you know how it is there. Everybody's so excited. So, but she was going around and trying to get a feel of like what people are passionate about and why they were doing what they were doing. And she called on the top leader. So this would have been like the national executive CEs, national executive directors. And she asked that person, and this is somebody who she's at the top of the compensation plan. She's has a huge team, she's like checking off all the things that she did it right. And she said, with the growth that you've experienced, I know you must have a goal. And in response, the lady said, well, I guess I'm embarrassed by my goal. Like first she said, I didn't have one. My goal is really, I want to see my team grow. And, she wanted to, care for people. But in the end, when the lady kind of pushed her, the facilitator pushed her on it, she said, well, I guess I sort of feel embarrassed about my goal. And for her, the goal was stepping on the stage and receiving the applause that she had done a great job, that she had been successful. And again, as women, we are not culturally trained to aim for success and to receive it as a gift. So that maybe that's your goal, is you want to walk across that stage at Inspire next year, and you want to be acknowledged for the hard work you do. And Trades of Hope does that intentionally because we want to make people feel empowered from the inside. So I'm going to share my goal with you, and it makes me feel a little nervous because I am definitely, you all know, I'm in this for the artisans, and it always has been for me for the start. But what shifted for me in Trades of Hope about 9 months into the experience was I saw how it could impact my family. And one of those impacts was that the potential of not having to work full-time outside of my home, driving up this crazy highway around grumpy people all day. It didn't always make me the most pleasant version of myself. I was exhausted, emotionally, mentally. So my goal is in the next year is to be able to surpass my master's level social work income. So as a social worker, I'm making $44,000 a year. For my family, if I could make $50,000 with Trades of Hope, then in the year, then that would replace and surpass what I'm making, and it would allow me to be able to be home more. It would allow me to invest more in my community and my neighbors. It would allow me to tap into some of my roles at my church that matter to me. It would allow me to make my art. I miss my art. I'm a trained sculptor and fiber artist. But it would give me the freedom to work part-time as a full-time Trades of Hope CE. I could work actually part-time hours and be able to have more of the quality of life that I want and the investment in the community around me, more hospitality, ministry, and things like that. The other reason why I want to achieve that is I want people to see that Trades of Hope is a legitimate way to be compensated for their work. And so that's one of my goals for that number. And that I want to show people that you can do a job that makes a real difference in real people's lives here at home and with our artisans all around the globe. Like, those are kind of things that fuel it for me. I want more freedom and autonomy. I only want to wear one hat. I don't have anything against my hospice job. I love what I do with hospice, but I love what I do more with Trades of Hope. And that's when I had to think about that emotional thing, that zing. I mean, the buzz I get from doing Trades of Hope, I live at a much higher joy quality, joy factor than, not that I'm sad all the time because of hospice, but this gives me that pump inside and really drives and motivates me. So that's my goal. I'm choosing to be true to myself and for me, a lot of my different pieces of my calling come to life here in Trades of Hope. So sixth step is to picture yourself achieving the goal. How will you feel when it becomes a reality? When we know what we want, we make things happen. And I can tell you the proof is in the pudding. That is last year. I went to Fearless in 2016. I got a taste of what I wanted. I wanted just to do Trades of Hope. And so when you know what you want, we make things happen. And I hustled in the dark last year, and it paid off. It allowed me to leave that full-time job and move into part-time social work. And it's now given me the ability to move towards just doing Trades of Hope. When we don't know what we want, we run the risk of a lifetime spent waiting for something to happen. So that's why these goals are so important. Now, before you commit to your goal, step number 7 is that you need to pass it through some reality checks. The first is this goal realistic in light of my present circumstance? Reaching beyond our comfort zone is what personal growth is all about. But a goal that is counterproductive, if it's too far outside of our reach, it's actually going to not be helpful. The other question is, am I prepared? And this is really, I think, the bigger question. Am I prepared to put the time and effort into achieving my goal? It's not enough to want it. You have to be willing to work it. Like I said, that hustling in the dark last year. I wanted it. This is what I want. And I still am working that way. So we pledged in the beginning about abundant thinking. And so realistic doesn't mean that it won't stretch you and it won't challenge you. So be mindful that you have to do the work and you have to be willing to go for it. And then you're going to find it's realistic. So what I want you to do is spend some time in the next couple of days looking through these 7 steps as you process your goals. And what you're going to want to look for is, what is it that makes you say, I want it, I deserve it, I can do it, and I will do it. And that is the mindset that we are going to work forward with these goals. We're not going to give any apologies or make excuses. We're going to say, I want this goal, I deserve it, I can do it, and I will do it. And that is where we're going to work out this, we're going to play to the positives. We're going to work out this positive mindset. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be posting a follow-up post to our group page here about, one is going to have the pledge, and that's for anybody who wasn't able to do the pledge, so that you all can add to it. And maybe you all can just put a little heart or something like that, because you already did it here on this call. But I'm going to be doing another post, and it's going to be about goals. And so it's an invitation for you to share your goals with this group. And maybe you're just going to put it out there like I did. I have to say, it made me feel like Erin, it made me feel a little warm to say $50,000. I want to earn $50,000 through Trays of Hope so I can provide for my family, and I can do it with her and for her, because that is at the heart of it. Artisans are always at the heart of it for me. But maybe putting it out there makes you feel nervous, or maybe you need to kind of grow into it. What I want you to do is, maybe you find an image. Maybe you make a little vision board that is an artistic way to think about your goal. Maybe you just write a number. For me, maybe I just would write the word 50 and take my picture with the number 50. That you don't have to give lots of explanation, but this is you saying, like, this is my goal. So when you have that goal in the next few days to a week, you post that to that page, and I'm excited to, and then I'll reach out to you and we can chat more too. So that's just going to be those 2 follow-up posts. The second thing is, please start sharing this. The best way we really learn things is to give it away. So start sharing this with your team. Start helping them think about their goals, these concrete, laser-focused 12-month goal. What is that thing that's going to cause that gal's heart to zing, so that she stays driven beyond the Smart Start goals? Because that's one of the things that Trades of Hope is seeing, is we see people kind of plummet afterward. They poured in all this energy and then they flatline. How do we help people get this? For me, I do this every day because I'm doing it with her and I'm doing it for her. And next week we're going to talk about the compensation plan. So please print off the compensation plan from your toolbox in the back office so you can have that in front of you. And we're going to address some different details around that. So thanks so much for coming on today. I hope this is helpful for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment them. I'm going to post this video here as soon as it uploads from Zoom onto the group page. Feel free to go ahead and type in those questions. But I'm so grateful to have you all. There's like 25 people who've decided that they're going to do this. And I'm really excited about the opportunity of seeing how our team is going to flourish and grow. So thanks so much, ladies.